According to Carl Jung, a renowned Swiss psychologist, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about shadow. It is shadow season. I'm not going to be going too much into too much detail on this. I have an excellent video from last year and I watched it and I'm like, I don't think I really want to go into any more detail than that. So if you just go back to that one, it's called Shadow Season. It's got a picture of my face on the front. If you want to know more about shadow, and there's a lot of Neo-Genian channels, I will put them at the end of this video. Or no, I'll put them up right here. Check out these channels if you want to know more about shadow content and shadow season. And Carl Jung. But I'm a little bit closer because I'm not satisfied with the audio quality when it's back farther. And the intros and the outros are super loud. And even though I adjust it in post, it's almost like that does nothing. So welcome. Make sure you like and subscribe and share. That really helps me out. Everybody carries a shadow. And a shadow is the content or the qualities of the self that society deems unacceptable or you deem unacceptable. So you shove it down inside your unconscious and you don't express that content. And if that is not expressed or integrated into yourself, into your ego, into your daily life in a healthy way, eventually it builds up to the point where you can't hold it in and it comes out, and it may come out in an unhealthy or undesirable way. Sometimes when people are drinking or using drugs, that lowers the inhibitions and all the shadow content just comes out, and that can be undesirable too. And the longer that this is held inside, the blacker and denser it becomes. And you see that a lot with shootings and violence and many things that are terrible. Like Morg made a good point about Donald Trump. He has this theory that Donald Trump is the collective shadow of society's unconscious. So he represents the repressed qualities that we all have, because he just lets it go. He's an example of what society is trying to hide and keep inside. He acts the way most people think that they wish they could act, but they can't because of society and religion. Religion really represses a lot of qualities that people would like to express, but they can't because it doesn't go along with the Bible or whatever holy book they bow down to. So I want to focus more in this video on my shadow. Although I've been working for years on my shadow, I still have pent-up anger and frustration. It has gotten better, but shadow work is a lifelong process. Shadow season is when we consciously focus on that. And shadow season is from Halloween, October 31st to January 1st. And I still get pent up frustrations from what, the weekly living and, stuff like that. I'm a natural introvert and I don't like to be around big crowds, and most people irritate me. And I would usually come home on the weekend, and the first thing I wanted to do was crack open a beer, and it would relieve the pressure. It felt like, and being honest, I've been told that when I drink too much, my shadow is undesirable to others. And being the current, the last year's been hard, guys. For me and my family, it's been very hard, and for the whole world, it's been hard because the wars and violence, and this election has been just terrible. It's divisive, and we really need to work on that for next time. We want to build a coalition of the people who are upset on both sides. I'm making it my goal to try to get people that I disagreed with about this past election and find common ground so that we can start a new movement together. And I think that we have more people that agree on things than people who don't. So that aside, that's not what this video is about. So I don't want to be the guy who drinks too much and everybody laughs at or makes comments to his wife about how he acts when he drinks. So for the time being, I'm cutting alcohol out, and I'm trying to find better ways to deal with my shadow content, because I can't, the nature of the way that I drink alcohol is not like a lot of people that I know where they drink every single day. I don't drink at all during the week, and then it would get to be the weekend and I would just overdo it. So this year I'm going to focus on my frustrations in healthier ways, like better diet, more exercise, or more vigorous exercise, or more concentrated, better exercise, and better sleep. And I'm trying to do the dream analysis, but I'm having issues getting it from my sleep onto the paper. I just can't remember, and I'm just going to keep on trying. It'll come. And as always, doing my part to raise the collective consciousness is it's really satisfying to me, and that's why I do these videos, because I feel like I'm helping in some way, even though I don't have a lot of subscribers. If this gets out and helps anybody, if I can help one person, that's enough for me. I ain't making any money on these videos. I don't think I'll ever get to the point of monetization, but it doesn't matter. This is something I like to do. I think it helps me as a person, and I think it also helps with my integrating my mirror self, because I can actually talk to a group of people now. And even though we're in the house, you can probably hear that helicopter. That's bad news. That means somebody is on their way to the hospital. I believe that self-actualization is necessary for everyone to see the value in others and realize that we are all the same. That's the only way to a teleocratic society. I got to get moving because this video is getting long. And come to the second part of this video. I would also like to recommend that you all go to Christspiracy.com. Right there. I'm going to put it up there. Christspiracy.com. And watch Christspiracy. If you haven't seen a movie like this before, it can be a little difficult to watch, especially if you are vegan. It's there's some parts where I had to just close my eyes because I can't watch um, brutality to animals ever. But for the most part, it's not too bad. There's some that I just had to turn off, but this one is actually not too bad. So this documentary asks the question: how would Jesus kill an animal? It's a fair question. I never really thought of it that way. The common belief is that Jesus ate lamb and fish, of course, but would he actually take their lives? It doesn't seem like a good shepherd to actually not protect your sheep, right? My takeaway is that Jesus led a movement that did not eat meat. Nazareth wasn't a place, it was his movement, and he was killed for creating a disturbance at the temple when he saw that the priests were buying, or he knew this was happening, but he was sick and tired of the priests buying all these animals and sacrificing them. The Nazarene were a group of his disciples who did not eat meat. And the Hebrew word for thieves, as in the den of thieves, is the same word that they use for murderer. So it's this documentary's feeling that it may have been not the den of thieves, but the den of murderers that he said. And you might think it's harsh to crucify him for flipping over tables and yelling at the priests for selling or buying animals to sacrifice. What they would do is they would have all these sacrifices, and then what they did with the animals is they would barbecue them up and they would sell the meat. And this was a huge part of the economy at the time. And the Romans said that this needs to be crushed. We need to stop them speaking out about this because they're making way too much money on selling these animal meats. And shortly before this sacrifice stuff, people just didn't eat animals. And people are not meat eaters. We're just not. A short time later, Jesus' brother James was also killed for being a vegetarian. I also think it's wrong that the Romans made sure that the Jews were blamed for the death of Jesus when that's clearly not the case. You could see in all the Bible stories, it wasn't Jews that were nailing to the cross, it was Romans. It was a Roman emperor. They just blamed the Jews because that's what happens all the time in history. And it's a damn shame. I mean, can you imagine if the Jews were never blamed for this? It's not like there was going to be a Holocaust for the Romans. The Romans are not a thing anymore. The revelation I got from this documentary is it's absolutely necessary for religion to turn away from its acceptance of killing animals. Give me a Jesus that I can believe in, that actually fought for something that's worth fighting for, other than a sin. Sin is nothing. It's like a sin is a concept. It's a thought. Thoughts are constantly changing. Thoughts are constant motion. I don't care about forgiveness of sins. Our planet needs empathy right now. And I believe getting society off the addiction of meat is necessary and crucial to a higher consciousness and eventually a teleocratic society. But it's going to be really hard if we can't get people to have empathy. All these things I talk about, if they're hard to grasp, it really helps if you don't eat meat for some reason. It just gives you that extra perspective that we are all one, and it'd make huge headway towards what we're trying to do if people could just look at things from an animal's perspective once in a while. And this video is long enough, so I am going to do a proper introduction to teleocracy in my next video, I think. I mean, unless something major happens, which may be quite a bit. But you never know. Remember, as my friend Arjun would say, peace begins on your dinner plate. Adas, my friends.